Oh, I'm live. I can see myself. I can't see her.
Okay, but how do I click on it?
There you go.
There we go. We are going to get this together. So now let's see. Are you able to see on your end?
So let me log into my Facebook now.
Okay.
And have
Good
you
evening,
tagged me?
everyone. We are trying to get everything together, make sure that our connection is good, and then we'll get started. So just bear with us for just a few minutes. If you are here and you want to make a comment or ask a question, you'll actually have to enable give StreamYard permission. That way you'll be able to post any comments, and that way we'll know who you are if you have any questions or need to say anything, or just to give us a like or thumbs up or whatever it is you want. Let me know,
No.
should
So
that
we
when you're
are not streaming.
yours.
Um, I don't see it on mine. Is it streaming live on yours?
Hang on, let me see. It should be.
Because if so, I will see if I can bring you up.
So
I
it
see it.
is. I can see you here on my Facebook. Let me
Okay,
see.
let me share it to my news feed.
Let's see. Oh, let me tag you.
All right, so I just shared it to my page, and let's see um, how it goes here. Is it showing up? There it goes. It's on my page.
All right, good
We are
deal. So
good to
we are
go.
good.
Yes,
It's
finally.
okay. I am not computer savvy at all. I literally just got connected with StreamYard probably about a month ago. So I'm still learning myself. So it's all good. It's all good. We got it. We're here. Everything is good to go. So, like we said, thank you everyone who is here so much for just hanging out with us while we got everything in order. We're gonna go ahead and get started tonight. So, thank you so much for who all is here for joining me for the very first edition of Business to Business 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. Shadette, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me. I appreciate it so much. For those who don't know me, my name is Tammy Arrington. I am the owner of T.K.O.'s Financial Solutions LLC. I am a board certified credit specialist. Some of my services include credit restoration and repair, but one of the biggest things that I love about my business is that it allows me to educate through credit. That is actually the reason why I created business to business, because it allows me more to than just pick the brains of business owners. Because starting a business, it is not easy at all. It's a process. And I created business to business for up and coming entrepreneurs to sort of gain a space of through our travels of where to go, and then also to serve as an inspiration to other business owners to just keep going. That is the main reason why I created this space today. But with that being said, please allow me to introduce my extremely special guest, Miss Shadette Gaffney. Is that right? Did I pronounce that correct?
You
All
pronounced
right,
it
I want to make
correct.
sure I got
Thank
that right.
you.
She is not only just a mom, she is also a business owner and so much, much, much more. But I'll let her tell you a little bit more about herself. She is the owner of Royalty Janitorial Services. So without further ado, Shadette, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Tammy.
Not a
Um,
problem.
my name is Shardette. As Tammy mentioned, I'm a mom to two fabulous kids. I'm an executive. My full-time job, my bread and butter. I'm an executive at a very predominant company in the Cincinnati area. And I'm also recently a business owner. So for years, for the past 3 or 4 years, I've wanted to work on my own to begin creating a legacy for my children to leave behind. And um, finally jumped off the porch and created my business just this past October. Um, I actually created Duchess Dynasty, which is my LLC, and Royalty Janitorial Services, which is my DBA. I do commercial and residential cleaning, and it ranges from manufacturing facilities, office buildings, property work with property managers and community managers, as well as schools, daycare, residential areas. My spectrum is open. I also clean residential areas. So a wide variety of products. Recently, I've been turning down a lot of customers for residential. I am not a housekeeping or maid service. So we do not do laundry. We do not do dishes. We do not fold clothes. I do not organize. My team come in and clean.
Okay. So that's pretty interesting because for me, until I actually started looking over exactly what you do, I always assumed that if I know how to clean, I could do anything. So how exactly did you get into this business, the janitorial business? How did you get into this business?
Okay. So when coming up with the business I wanted to open, I have a list of businesses, and I the community and my network of people that I have, it made sense to go into the janitorial space. People that know me and that has been to my home say I'm a little bit OCD. If a cup goes down and it's not in the right place, I want to put it in the right place. Everything has its place. Literally in my house, I can be out of town and send someone in my house to the exact drawer, the exact location, and tell them where it belongs, where to get something. And so I can clean.
Okay.
My kids, they know Sunday mornings when the radio comes
Oh,
on,
yeah.
it's time to clean. We don't do nothing else. We clean before we
Sundays is
eat.
cleaning. Sundays is
Absolutely,
cleaning.
absolutely. I was raised that way.
I'm with
And then
you.
my network of people, I have a strong network of people that have been opened up their own company for years, have always worked for themselves, and they sort of corralled. When I had questions, they came to me. I was able to go to them and ask questions. They really pushed me off the porch.
Okay.
Because I was waiting for the perfect opportunity, making sure my ducks were in a row, and years were passing by and I had not done it. So going into the janitorial space made sense because I had so many people around me and my network that I was connecting with that was in that same space as well. And so I wanted to jump on the bandwagon as my first business to sort of say, this is my learning time here.
Okay.
And I jumped in with some great people, some great business owners, and they've been there every step of the way since I opened my doors.
And see, and that's exactly why I wanted to have a space like this because not everybody has a community when you step out into creating your own business. And that was one of the reasons behind this is to have a space where people can come and take a look and hear other people's story and kind of get a little bit more direction. So yeah, that's awesome. So you have a great support system on top of it as well.
Correct.
Perfect. So I know that you mentioned some of your services. I know one is big is not a maid service. So we're very clear we're not maids. So
Absolutely.
I did look at some of your services and there's a variety of things. So it
Right.
started from maintenance all the way up to cleaning up construction sites. So how do you staff for that? How do how are you structuring all of that?
Okay. So yes, the core business was cleaning. And because of the network that I have and the resources that were made available to me, I was able to bring in sort of pressure washing. And so the team that does pressure washing, of course, I'm not an expert in pressure washing. So I'm like, come on out to my house. If you can clean the siding of my house and I give you the thumbs up, then I'll add it to my list of things. So I do partner with other contractors in other small businesses. So I know contractors that do maintenance, that do outside work, that do landscaping. And as I get contracts, as I get work done, a lot of people want to pay one contractor. And so if I'm awarded something and they say, I want carpet cleaning done or upholstery done, that doesn't fall under my category of items to do, but I'll bring it in. If there's an opportunity to employ another small business, I'll do that. And in doing that, I build networks. So therefore I may have 2 or 3 small contractors that do carpet cleaning. And when I have that in the future, I already have them on speed dial. I'll call them, they'll give me a quote, and they'll come under me. I'll ultimately get paid for the entire project, and then I'll pay them.
Okay.
So my scope of things, I have painters, I have maintenance, I have carpet cleaners, upholstery. I literally have so many people in my network that's willing to jump in and help me and walk with me through the different steps along the way, that I'm able to offer a lot of services. And you'll see on my Facebook page, if it's an area I haven't explored before, I'll ask for recommendations. Anyone that connects with me during my recommendation phase, I allow them the opportunity to quote it. And I'll share with them where they fall in the quote price range, and then I'll put a contract together and say, hey, we can partner, we can
Okay.
make money together in the future.
Okay.
So
That's
that's how I'm able
awesome.
to offer a wide variety of different things. Just my network and connecting with other small businesses.
Okay. So, what qualities do you look for in your employees? I know that you contract with a few different companies. So, what exactly are you looking for in the people that you contract with and also the ones that you hire?
Okay. The ones that I hire personally to work for Royalty Janitorial Services, I'm looking for you to be dependable, your own transportation. I have contracts ranging from Kentucky to up north to Dayton. So, depending on how many hours they want to work, where they want to work, they have to be able to get there on their own and on time. For the most part, I don't hire W-2 employees at this moment because I'm just getting started. I hire 1099 employees, so they're in essence their own contractor. So there's not a lot of legal paperwork that has to be completed, so it's a little bit more lenient. But I do have some rules that each person has to review. So if you are brought in to work up under me, you have to wear my uniform. I provide tops, hats, scarves, face masks with my company name and logo on it. With that expectation, when you're wearing my company name, you're representing me. So therefore, I do have checklists of what my expectations are: be on time, be respectful, dress according to the environment in which you're in. If you're outside and it's in the wintertime, I'll provide you sweaters and hoodies. If you're in the inside, of course, I don't want to see any exercise gear and half tops. We want to dress as professional as we possibly can for the work that we're doing. Contractor work, contracting work, they're allowed to come in their company's name because I'm subcontracting out to them. But when I look for a third party contractor, I look for reputation. I don't want someone that says they'll be there and don't show up. I meet with them personally. When they come on site to do the walkthrough, they're walking through with me. I'm explaining to them what my customer wants done. And quotes and everything is done through me. Then we meet with the customer and they get a full understanding. The go to between the two, everything is done through me in
Okay.
essence.
All right. So, what I didn't hear is what it requires. Do you actually have to have skills? Is there actually a skill that's required to clean? I
You
know you can clean your
it
house
it
with a little, but
is
is there a skill?
as as weird as it may be, it definitely is.
There is. Okay.
You have to have an eye for detail. You simply cannot come in and just throw a rag or a paper towel with some cleaner and wipe stuff down. Depending on what you're cleaning, depends on the level of detail in which it has to be done. If you're doing a residential home, you have to be very detailed. You have to look in the corners. You have to wipe everything down. You have to do the windowsills because homeowners will walk through with a fine tooth comb and look for things that have not been done or have not been touched. So you have to have a level of detail. You have to be willing to redo things. Just because you think that it is done and it's finished, the homeowner or the customer may be like, not really. You just got the top layer of dust. There's still some dust there. Can you go back over? So you have to be able to have your work critiqued and not get upset about it. It is at the end of the day, it's business. What I learned when I first started getting contracts, I would come in, head down, earphones in, business. When I go into companies, people like to talk. I take my headphones out now. You have to be able to say good morning, good, remember names, speak to people. So you have to be personable when you go into companies, because they like to talk. They like to know you're in their space. This is where they spend a large percent of their time, which is at work, and they want to feel comfortable with a person that's walking around a couple times a week, cleaning and moving things around. So. Detail oriented, you have to be dependable, you have to be a people person, you have to be able to have conversation with people.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. I never even thought about it taking, I never thought about that. I literally thought that if I know how to clean, I could do the job. So yeah, it's a lot more than I thought it was. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
interesting to know.
yeah, it's way more than just cleaning at home.
I
The
see.
chemicals that you use play a huge part in it as well.
Mhm.
So absolutely.
Okay. So business during a pandemic, how are you prioritizing and keeping your staff safe? I know things have changed a lot on how we clean. So how are you guys staying safe during the pandemic?
Okay, so everyone is issued multiple masks. At all times, you have to wear a mask when you're in a facility, rather or either in a residential home. So I have RJS masks made for everyone to wear. Also gloves. So everyone get boxes of gloves at any given time. Females, if they have fingernails, I recommend them doubling up on the gloves so that holes aren't poked in them. Use as many gloves as you can. I provide the supplies to all of my workers. So therefore, face masks are required. Gloves are is required as well. Depending on where we're at, the facility we in, booties for your shoes as well. And then everyone is also provided with hand sanitizer. As soon as you leave the facility, take your gloves off. You are to sanitize your hands. All of the chemicals that are used now are certified to be used to disinfect all surfaces. And so the solutions that we use are not the normal household solutions. They are industrial commercial strength. So that helps also kill any surface bacteria that there may be as well.
That's awesome. So I saw a picture and I said, okay, wait. She is not just the CEO of this business. She is out here actually working, getting her hands dirty next to the staff. So my question is, you could be the type of business owner or the type of CEO or boss, however you label yourself, that just points the finger all day. You go here, you go do this, you do that. But what makes you want to get out there and get dirty and do the job right alongside your employees?
Um, the number one thing that I tell all my employees, anyone that come to work for me, I will never ask you to do anything I wouldn't do. And in order for me to say that and stand on that, I have to roll my sleeves up and jump in there. I also wanted to be the type of owner that heavily understood the operation side of the business. There are a lot of business owners out here that only understand the paperwork, the financial side. I'm getting that. That's a given. But I also want to understand the operations side of it. I do grounds, and so one Sunday I'm doing grounds for a company, and I bust out laughing, and everyone turn around and look at me, and I said, never in a million years would I ever say I would be outside picking up trash, but here I am.
Yep.
And so everyone that works for me knows if I'm asking you to give 100%, I'm going to give 100% as well. If you are understaffed, if someone called off, call me. I'm coming. I'm jumping in. And so I'm just that type of person where they know and feel comfortable with reaching out to me. They know I'll jump in. They know that I understand enough about the operation side to where if I can properly, because I'm the person that's going out getting contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I can properly express to the customer exactly what we do and what we don't do and how it's done. And the customer is reassured that when I say something is done a certain way, that I understand the technique or the process it takes to get that accomplished.
Oh, and that makes all the difference. I swear.
Absolutely.
That makes all the difference. But it's so amazing that so many people will go out and explain a job that they've never done. Like that makes all the difference. So what's your motivation? What gets you motivated every day?
Um, the motivation is the legacy. And so that is where the name of my LLC, Duchess Dynasty, come in. I'm building my dynasty, one company at a time. Once I'm successful with something, I'll move on to the next. I set goals for myself. This is a family ran business. My children are heavily involved. My sister, as well as my nephew, is heavily involved in the business, and I'm building a legacy for my two kids and my nephew, to where they have something, I have something to pass on, with hopes that one day Royalty Janitorial Services, my son, my daughter, my nephew, can take over the reins, of this, and hit the streets running, because we have established our name in this industry, in that industry, to where it speaks for itself. So just knowing that I have little ones that are looking up to me, I have family members that are looking up to me, and I want to succeed and be successful. A lot of people are in it for the money. I'm in it for the legacy that's behind it.
Yes. Yes. I'm here for it. All of it. So this is actually a two-part question.
Okay.
How do you compete in this market, a market that is saturated? Like I said, I was one of the ones who thought cleaning, literally, I can get a bucket and a mop, go make it happen. So, in a market that is saturated with everyone that's popping up with cleaning businesses, how do you compete in this market? And then also, what challenges have you faced in this business?
Okay. The number one thing I think is getting the correct supplies and equipment. So you don't need a lot of equipment, but making sure that you have the commercial grade equipment to get the job done, in a shorter amount of time. If you have the correct vacuums, the commercial vacuums, you don't have to keep going over. It's not as loud and just disrupting the environment that you're in. So your supplies. I literally have shelving put in place with nothing but cleaning supplies. I have multiple different types of vacuums that I'm using. Also my network. So my network of people that I have, I can, it's wonderful. I can shoot them a list of supplies and things that I need, and I know within a week they'll be calling me to come pick it up. Um, Also, in order to get contracts, by nature, I'm a people person. My full time job, my bread and butter, I deal with contracts all day. And so I make sure that I network every opportunity I get. I never burn bridges. And so when I first opened up my business, I did sort of a soft opening. I went and sent out maybe 15 text messages to people, and the amount of response I got from business owners, from people that I come from, my background is purchasing and procurement in manufacturing. So many of my manufacturing contacts reached out to me and say, let's have lunch. I have numbers for you. Let me bring you into this circle. And so I make sure every opportunity I get to promote my business, whether it's on social media, I always have business cards. I'm very good at plugging and dropping other businesses' names as well. If it's something that I hear that requires a remodeling, if I know people that do that, I drop their name. And just from there, they do the same thing with me. If they are doing a job that requires cleanup afterwards, they'll plug me in as well and give me that phone call. Um, so networking, being positive, always being out there. Myself and my family, we're always wearing my shirts. There's time I'm walking around in the store and someone will get the number off the back of my shirt and say, hey, I saw you at Home Depot. Can you do this for me? And then from there, from doing a good job, they'll refer me to somewhere else. So networking, staying positive, always taking that phone call even when you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
um and being willing to reach out to other business owners. I'm big on working smarter and not harder.
Definitely.
The wheel is already invented. I don't want to
Mhm.
reinvent the wheel. I just want to improve it. So I'll go out to business owners and ask them, can I take you to lunch? Let me pick
Mhm.
your mind. Let me pick your head.
Mhm.
Um, and so getting pointers from different people and creating my plan on how I want my business ran is essential to doing that. When I first started my business, the first thing people said is, you're new. It'll take you months to get contracts.
Mhm.
Within 15 days, I had my first contracts of 4 buildings. So
Yes.
there is
Mhm.
no there is really no technique. I'm a people
Mhm.
person. I go out, I make sure I promote my business, promote other people's businesses.
Mhm.
So therefore, when they see something, they'll think of me too.
That is awesome. So, is there any job that you would turn down?
Yes, yes. Um, Let me rephrase that. I will turn down portion of the jobs. Um,
Okay.
if there is an instance, I have an elderly client. Well, she wanted to hire my company to clean. When I went in to see, she really needed to be unpacked. I don't provide that service that does unpacking and putting away and organizing. So I did a post on social media asking, does someone do that? And so what happened is I found someone that does unpacking and organizing, and I worked with the elderly lady to say, hey, I'll provide you a quote for this portion of it. Once it's cleaned, then my company will take over, come in. Once it's cleaned up, we can walk through the house. My team can really clean. Then I'll come in and do the biweekly cleanings as needed. So I'll turn down portion of a job, um, and then pick up where my company actually can perform the work. As of today, I have not turned down anything.
Okay. Well, that's actually good though that you're not just walking away. You're providing a solution to them. If it's something that you can't do, you're at least before you walk away or do a portion of it, you're providing them with a service to where they can get the full thing. Maybe not by you, but so that's
Absolutely.
that's awesome. Okay. So can you tell us about the worst job you've ever done?
I would say a manufacturing company. Um, the work that they do is very dirty. It's very dusty. Oil everywhere. I actually did a before and after on my company's page on Facebook, where I walked into the bathroom, and me and two of my other employees, and we just looked at each other. We didn't know where to. I literally felt like if I had a fire hose, like this needed to be
Oh
sprayed down. Like there is
no.
nothing that we can do to clean this, to get this. I'm like, I don't even want to stand in here. I don't know
Yeah, I
what to
can't do
do.
bugs. So anywhere that's got bugs, I couldn't do it.
It was horrible. And not to
Okay.
mention it was the men's bathroom area.
Oh,
So we we put on the elbow gloves and we got to it.
made
And
it happen.
the following week when we came back, literally everyone was stopping us like, our area has never been clean like this before. You
Good.
guys do a phenomenal job. So it's definitely the worst that I've come across so far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the normal, I do apartment clean outs and different things, and we know how that go when people
Yeah.
are evicted or
Mhm.
displaced that don't want to leave. Sometimes they leave it in disarray.
Okay.
And there's times I've walked into apartment buildings and apartments and wanted to be like, oh my God, what happened here? But
Literally.
hey, it's
Okay.
something that I know that I can clean, I can get done. And if they're paying they understand how difficult it is. And if they're paying the price to get
Yes.
it done, I offer 100% guarantee on my work.
Okay.
So we jump in it. My team
Okay.
may not like it when they get in there, and
Okay.
they question my sanity as to why I took this job, but we jump in
Right.
it and we get it done.
All right. Well, on the flip side of that, what's the most enjoyable part about this business?
Um, I would say just as a new business, it's a great job to hear the comments, the remarks, especially when a company has had a cleaning company in prior to, and I come in the door, and the first thing I hear is it smells phenomenal in here.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I'm very big on when I go to a new customer is I sort of get an idea of the customer I'm dealing with. The newer customers likes the more floral, fruity smell, so I'll use a different fragrance cleaning solution. If I'm dealing with an older crowd or older customer, they like to smell Clorox, bleach, pine salt. So I use a separate
Yes.
scent with dealing
What
with
is that
the different
about?
ages. I don't know, but it is tried and true, and they like it.
Okay.
And so
Yes.
hearing the compliments, my team members, they like hearing that the work that they did the prior week, that it's clean in here, it smells great. We've never had this level of detail before, and so that gives me kudos. My team feels good. As the owner, I feel good when I hear those type of comments as well. And so from there, when you do good things, people come in. Even my customers is like, who's cleaning this now?
Yes.
I want, give them my number. Can I have their
Okay.
number? And so that's where it's a trickle down effect.
Awesome. So another two-part question. So looking back over your life as a business owner, is there anything that you would have done differently? Secondly, what advice would you give someone that is interested in starting their own janitorial business?
Um, Absolutely, I would have done something, a lot of things differently. I would have started sooner. I
Mm,
would have started when I first had the vision to be a business owner. Um, I'm the type of person, if you know me, I'm a perfectionist. I want all my I's dotted and my T's crossed. And
mhm.
when it comes to open up your business, if you wait for the perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. You
Let me
have
tell
to
you.
get off the
Mhm.
porch, jump off the porch, have faith, and you have to understand you're going to bump your head along the way. That's where you build a strong network of people around you, that have already been through the startup phase, that have already did everything. Um, let's see. So that is something that I would have done. I would have started 5 years ago when I first created my first business plan. The second part of the question what was the second part?
What advice would you give someone that is sitting back, that hasn't jumped off the porch yet, but they have that vision of being exactly where you are, the CEO of their own janitorial business? What advice would you give them?
Um, when I first came up with the janitorial business is where I wanted to start it. I figured that I had to have my own money, and this is really across any business. I figured I had to have my own money. Almost, I had to put myself in debt in order to open up my business. And what I've learned the past 6 months is business credit and personal credit, and you do credit, um, completely different. It takes you 30 days to build a strong business credit profile. 30 days. And from there, you can finance, you can get grants, you can get multiple things, you can build net 30 accounts. And you do not have to use one drop of your personal money to start a business. And so, if the one thing that I would tell people is come up with a business plan, but understand, speak with a financial advisor or someone that understands business credit aspect. Your business credit will make or break your company.
Mhm.
And so you have to build strong relationships. Your personal credit can be very bad, and
We want it good though.
we want it good, but it can be very bad.
It
And your
can be, but
business
we want it
credit
good. But okay,
your
yes.
business credit can be top of the line, and
Mhm.
your business can be successful without using a personal guarantee at all. And so, the another advice that I would give someone that's starting out is make sure your business is structured correctly. There are so many companies and people that are operating businesses that's not structured correctly. To people like us, minorities, to small businesses, make sure you're certified. There are so many resources out there that can help women owned, black owned, small business, minority owned. But you have to reach out. You have to connect to the right resources. You have to get the proper certification.
Okay. So when you're talking as far as the proper certification, what does that look like if because sometimes what I'm learning about being in this business, especially from where some of us has started, that when you hear words business plan, financial advisors, those terms are scary,
Mhm.
especially if I'm sitting in my home on my couch and I'm like, I know what I want to do, but I don't know what I want to do. So when you say a certification and those things, where do they start looking for it?
A
Do you
lot
have?
of people, when they think certification, there are certifications out there that you can get where you are certified through the federal government,
Mhm.
but it costs a lot of money to do. As a small business, you just don't have the revenue coming in to spend hundreds of dollars to get certified. However, um, your city, locally where you are, they should have African American Chamber of Commerce. They have um, entrepreneur programs that you can rely on and seek help from. So just in the city of Cincinnati, there are certifications that you can get. So each government agency, they have a way for you to set up as a vendor and for you to become certified in their system as a different vendor. And each application is different, but it's free. And so, yes, you have to keep completing those applications for every city that you want to do business in, but it's free until you build up enough revenue that you can actually get a national certification that will work regardless of what state lines and what city lines you work in. So I agree. It's scary. A lot of people don't want to put in the work.
Mhm.
But for small businesses, minority owned businesses, local small business, women owned business, it's essential that you get your certification. Especially if you are owned, you must be owned 51% of your company have to be owned in order to claim it. But it's essential. It'll put you a step ahead of everyone else.
Yep. All right. Thank you for breaking that down just a little bit more for us. I appreciate that. So, what's next for you? I know you have a few more things in the works. So, what's next?
I do. So the world has let me into this space, and I'm not stopping. I already have my next business adventure and business plan in the making. I've set my goals to where I want this company to be over the next 12 months, and then venture into my next space, my next industry within the next 18 months. From here, the sky's the limit.
Right.
The business aspect of things, I have that almost down to a T now.
Mhm.
And they can be applied across multiple industries. So I'm here in the
Mhm.
business owner industry, and there's no turning back now. At this
Exactly.
point, I'm in a win-win situation. The only way I can lose is if I tuck my tail and walk away.
Better believe it. Better believe it.
Absolutely.
That is the only way. What I love the most about you, you have set a time. Sometimes we'll make a plan, but we don't put a limit on it. And the fact that you put a date, a time, you got 18 months, so you know exactly how long you put for yourself to make it happen.
See, Tammy, that's a plug. 18 months. You need to invite me back and let's see if
No
I met my
doubt, no
goals.
doubt. Most definitely, most definitely. But I like to be timely, and I've kept you over your 9 minutes. I've kept you over 9 minutes. I appreciate you so much for coming out today and taking the time with me and answering some questions. And I could have went on and on with the questions, but we won't do that. But before you go, I do have a game that I like to play. Let me get my little handy dandy stuff here.
Okay.
There we go. So I have a little bucket here. I don't know if you can see it or not, if you can see my camera. You get to pick the color, okay?
Okay.
All right. You get red, orange, yellow, pink, or green.
We're going with my favorite color. Let's do red.
All right. All right. All right, let's see what we got. And I'm gonna try not to drop any labels because you know how you watch when they do like lottery pickings and they drop the number and you be like, that could have been my money you just dropped.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra time?
I'm supposed to be sleeping now.
No,
I
I'm
don't. I don't.
asking you.
I
If
don't
you did,
sleep now. Um,
oh, you're saying you don't sleep.
Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream.
Oh
Um, um,
oh no.
I get a couple hours of sleep every night. Definitely business. So I'm in my home office now. At any given moment throughout the day to the wee hours of morning, I'm plugging away. I'm either taking a seminar, I'm learning something new, I'm jotting down in my business plan, I'm brainstorming. So I'm an overthinker, and it has to make
Oh.
sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll be in my lab, which is my office. And
Okay.
so putting in hours, coming up. And if didn't have to sleep, I literally would have the rest of my 10 other companies already planned out with the time frame
Exactly.
already in.
You'd be
So
already done. That 18 months would have been
absolutely.
cut down like more than half.
Absolutely.
All right, next color, orange, green, yellow, or pink?
Let's do green.
Green. All right. Let me not drop the bin. Okay. All right. So what personality trait do you value most and which do you dislike the most about yourself?
Whoa. Um, as you can tell, I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that watch me from afar or don't know me, they'll be like, "Oh, she's quiet," or "She's mean," or I'm really a bubbly, upbeat. Never met a stranger. Can talk to anyone. I can talk your ear off. So that's sort of a plus, um, and a minus, all in one. Because when I go into residential homes and see elderly, and I know they haven't had that interaction or that talk.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of cleaning, I'm talking. And
Okay.
so my workers are like, we thought this is a 3-man job, not a 2-man job. You
Literally.
talking too much. And so that's me. I'm all, if you know me and I'm around you all the time, you'd be like, that girl can go a mile a minute. She
Okay.
never stops, nonstop. But one saying you will always hear me say is, everything can be taken away from you except knowledge. And then if you
Ooh.
sit down and you are willing to learn and listen,
Mhm.
I'm like a sponge. I absorb everything. I read everything. And I'm the type
Yes.
of person, I don't harbor it. I share it. If you want
Yes.
to listen and
Yes.
you want to learn, I'm going to share it with you.
Yes.
And so I have the gift of gab, and that can
Yes.
be good and that can be bad.
And I'm like, why do people, was that a bad thing?
If you
I'm
with
like,
me all the time, they're like, oh, she's
oh
talking
yeah, I
too
guess if you got it, I know my
much.
family, I drive them crazy because I'm the same way. When it comes to this credit, oh my God, they'd be like, girl, find something else. Okay, please.
And
But
then
I
don't
get
get
it.
me on a topic I'm excited about. This business thing is
Oh,
new to me and I'm excited about it. And I've learned
yes.
that people that have been in the game for years don't
Yep.
know as much as I know. And so
Yep.
I'm like, yes, I
Yep.
should teach a class, but
You
get
should.
the
You
gap.
actually you should. You should. All right, last one. Orange, pink, or yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow. Let's see. Where is the most interesting place you've been?
Ooh, most interesting place I've been.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard because I travel for a living. I literally can travel anywhere across the world. I would say the most interesting place I've ever been was um I would say, I don't know. That's a hard question. Um I would say Barcelona.
Barcelona, nice.
Barcelona.
Okay.
It is exactly the way the pictures look. The roads are crazy. The houses are beautiful and colorful.
So it's so crystal clear, like it looks on the pictures and TV.
It absolutely, it looks
Oh,
exactly how it looks on the
mm.
picture. And not to mention, I think the drinking age for people there is 16.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Not all the
Yes.
16-year-olds go running there, okay?
Absolutely. I think it's 16. It's teenage years, but they're not allowed to drive into their early 20s. So they get the drinking part out of their system. We do it
I
backwards
see.
here in the US.
I agree.
Um,
Now you say that. Yeah, okay.
it
Makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Makes
But
sense.
yes, Barcelona is a beautiful place to go. I'm looking to go back there in a year or two, but it's amazing, especially their hillside and their mountains.
Mm.
The roads are crazy. The driving, I would never drive there.
No,
The driving that we know here is not the driving there.
that's like there. Okay.
70 here, 70 there is like walking. So
Oh,
yeah.
I definitely wouldn't make it because I'm the slow lane driver, so
Oh,
I wouldn't make it. They run me over. So, well, thank you so much again, Shadat, for taking the time. I really, really, really appreciate it. So tell everyone how they can reach you.
sure. So of course my phone number, I Royalty Janitorial Services providing commercial and residential cleaning. My business phone number, I literally every phone that I have, and I have three of them, they ring with this business phone number. So the number is 513-463-8726. I also have a Facebook business page as well as an Instagram page, both under Royalty Janitorial Services. I also have a link and a website. The website is duchessjanitorial.com. And then, of course, I can be reached through my personal page as well on Facebook or Instagram.
Perfect. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight for our very first episode of Business to Business. I do hope to do this again soon in the next, 18 months?
18 months.
All right,
18
girl. I'm
months.
gonna keep a track. I'll be reaching back out in 18 months. All
Absolutely.
right. Thank you so much again. I hope that you have a great week and an even greater weekend. We will do this again soon.
All right. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye, guys.